Hey everyone, I started typing in the supporters channel on Discord, and then I thought I'll just make a quick video, make a quick video, whatever. Can't even talk. Pretty manic today. Ooh. I'm going to start this recording again because I'm going to go get that board. I'm back. I'm not going to start the recording again, as in re-intro. That just came out of the oven. So that is my first production board of my RGB Touch Mini, my P3 revision. So this is newer than the version I've been working on that I've been showcasing. It's the same, there's no functionality change, but this is the version that puts two sets of pogos on it. So there's 12 pogos now that connect to the top, and the battery connection and the speaker connection are now on the top. I haven't run the top board yet. I'm going to do that after I record this video. So this was done for a couple of reasons. I need to validate the board before I actually start making a whole bunch of them, and I needed to validate the pick and place file, and I'm glad I did because there was 3 components I left off this. I took the previous pick and place file for the previous revision board, the P1 board, and I thought I added everything else I needed into it. Rather than re-exporting, if I re-export it all from KiCad again and go through the process, then I have to also reorient all the parts. But I already had a validated layout for this version. As you can see, doesn't have the double pogo, otherwise it's pretty much the same, and this has got the, there it is, the speaker port and the battery. They're not on there anymore. So I had to validate the board and the pick and place file. Anyway, I fixed those 3 components. I just hand added them onto the machine. Haven't plugged it in yet. There's no point even if I do, because it'll error. I mean, I can plug it in to see if it enumerates, but it'll error because I can't find the MPR 121 chips, and it won't even give me audio output because the speaker's not on this board. I can't plug the speaker in, it's on the other board. Anyway, so that's exciting. That's what I'm doing today. I'm just going to, as I said, one of each. Will I make more today? I don't know. I haven't really decided yet when I'm going to ship these or make them available. To be honest, my biggest bottleneck is going to be the cases. Printing the cases. Like, my printer is still not good, right? I'm printing with it, but I'm limited in where I can print. Doesn't matter how much glue I add, doesn't matter how many times I calibrate it. There's just something wrong with the printer. The left-hand side, I can't put anything near like a third to the edge of the left-hand side of the print bed. Just weird things happen. It's not just warping. Sometimes it won't warp, but it'll just fail and knock and crash things. Sometimes it warps. It's really bizarre. 3 different print beds I've tried. I've got 3 textured PI sheets, PA, whatever it is. As I said, I've tried glue, no glue. I'm wiping down the bed with IPA and a what are they called, a no dust cloth, whatever the ones I use for my stencils, every single time before I print. Doesn't matter, there's something wrong with the printer. So I don't know how I'm going to scale up to print these, because these are, well, they're a complex print because they've got the multi-material to do the insides and whatever, and my plan was to do 4 on the bed at once, and I can't. I might be able to do 2 on a bed. The problem is, if one of the 2 fails, then I lose one of them at double the time, or potentially lose both of them. So I don't know, I'm just really of 2 minds. I don't really want to run out and buy another Bamboo printer so I can print properly, and I definitely want to but can't afford to go and buy a Prusa, and that's, even if I ordered an XL today, just a 2-head one, it's, 4 weeks, 6 weeks till I get one. So I did redesign these bits yesterday. They print about, not a big deal, about 10% faster, but they also have less stringy now on the clear bits, which is good. So I printed a bunch of those. I print 2 lots worth at a time, like for 2 cases. I can print more, but again, it's the issue of if it's a fail, then how many of them do I lose? I'd rather lose none and print less. It's a pain. So I've solved all of my deep sleep issues. For those that were following along on Discord already, I've been doing a lot of firmware work on it, and I've added a whole bunch of stuff. But one of the things I've added was the ability for it to obviously dim after a certain period of time to save battery, if you're running out of battery, right? It dims the LEDs after a period of time, and then after another period of time, it dims them all the way down and then actually turns them off, the power to the LEDs off. So having them all dim, like it's zero, like no color, still draws 20 or 30 milliamps of quiescent current. Turning the power off means there's no quiescent current, right? So that's good. Been optimizing a few other things to get the power as low as possible. I was testing it all on USB though. I couldn't actually find my power profiler kit. I found it now. I did a bit of a tidy this morning on my desk here, so I couldn't find it anywhere. But anyway, I need to do battery tests. But anyway, so things are looking pretty good. Like I've got it down to 14 milliamps in deep sleep running off USB. Okay, and that means the whole 5-volt rail is powered. So without the 5-volt rail being powered, so the charging IC is not, because that's going to charge a battery, right? That's going to be pulling power, and the load switch is on, and all the, the LED is on, the red LED and whatever. If I can get it under a milliamp for deep sleep on this off battery, I'll be happy. I'm not going to get 20 microamps, or 25 microamps like my development boards have got. There's too much stuff on here, but again, if I can get it 900 microamps, 500 microamps, I'll actually be quite happy for this revision. Some tweaks I can do later. I'm having to do deep sleep hold on some I/O to keep the off state of certain things off during deep sleep. That draws a little bit of current. If I had thought about this ahead, I could have put some, I would have changed the way I'm doing my pull-ups and pull-downs. Like by default, when you turn this on, like the code doesn't have to turn on the LED matrix, it's on by default. I should have made it off by default. That way when it goes to sleep, it's off instead of staying on. So there'd be like two or three I/O that I could, if I added or changed the hardware pull-ups, like using actual resistors, I could not do it in RTC I/O, which means that'll save me a little bit of power and stuff. Anyway, that's all going really well. I've got it working. I've got touch to wake working. I've got it where it bypasses the whole showing unexpected maker and blah blah blah, so it's really quick to come back. And what else? So I've got, when it's not deep sleep, but it looks like it's sleeping, right, before it's actually gone into deep sleep, I've got touch and move to wake it. Deep sleep is only touch to wake right now. I can do move to wake. I've worked out the register and how to set it to flip the interrupt, because the interrupt is active high on the IMU and active low on the NPR IC. So you can't mix, you can't say, I want you to wake up active high on this and low on this. It's got to be active low on both or high on both. So I think I've got them swapped, but it's way too sensitive. I need to work out how to change the sensitivity, because literally it goes into deep sleep, and if there's just a rumble next door or the compressor turning on, that's enough rumble to wake this up. So I need to really dumb it down. Anyway, so things are going well software wise. I did get ESP now going, communicating with each other with auto discovery, auto peer discovery. So there's no internet required, there's no hard coding any IP addresses, but right now that means if there's 3 devices in the room and they're all turned on, all 3 will be whatever, but it'll only send to the first one it's paired with. So anyway, there's a bit of work still to do there. I haven't worked out any of the setting to online, to like a relay thing or whatever else. Whatever. Added the ability to shut down the device from the actual device. I could have been showing you all this. This is going to end up being a longer video than I planned. So that just woke from... Oh, interesting. That was in deep sleep. I woke it from deep... I didn't realise I left it on. I thought it was off. So that just woke... yeah. That's pretty cool. What was I going to say? Right. So I've added... I'm redoing all the icons. Oh, I added... Yeah. I screwed something up. I've added device orientation changing, but it's not working all the time. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm going to add the ability to lock it. So you can pick a direction and lock it. Anyway, I added the ability to... Oh my god, I wish that would stop flicking. There's an on-off, so there's an off button now, so I can actually... Oh, it's actually talking, but the volume's down low. That just actually shut itself down, like it's physically off. There's no wake from sleep or anything right now. So you can turn it off without touching the thing on the side. I'm not liking the auto orientation. Anyway. So right now my bottleneck is how am I going to print these? Because at 2 hours of print for the case, and I've got to be around to swap it, the next one, whatever, that's a lot of time to be wasting printing these things. And no, I can't get them printed overseas, whatever else. It's a complex print. It's got to be exactly perfect on the top, otherwise the panel won't sit in properly. Next week I will have some samples of those insert nuts, the SMD insert nuts, but I can't use them unless I redesign the top plate. The top plate doesn't have any copper exposed to put them on. So even though I'll have them, I need to do a redesign. If I'm going to do a redesign for it, to try it, I might change to that other layout, that 4-layer layout that I was trying, that uses 1 layer for horizontal, 1 layer for vertical, instead of having them next to each other on the top layer. But it's a big risk. It's a new stencil. It's a 4-layer top board instead of a 2-layer top board, so the cost goes up because they're not small boards. It's going to cost me $150 US to try it, and that's a lot of money to try it. Like, I got to sell a lot of these just to cover the cost on that. My margins aren't huge on these. Anyway, so I don't know what to do. There's only 20 people on the wait list right now anyway, which is what I expected, but disappointing. If you consider that of the 20 people on the wait list, probably only 5 will buy, maybe 6, because that's just what happens. I had 19 people on my wait list for Tiny Watch when I got them back in stock the other day, and 2 people bought. So that's just how wait lists go, whatever. So I don't even know how many I'm going to make, and then there's the whole firmware side, whatever. So one other thing I'll tell you before I stop and end it and go back and do the other side and keep working. Apart from the fact that I've got other stuff set up, I've got OMG S3 set up on my... I haven't got the pick and place file there yet. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff ready on the stencil printer and whatever. I've got everything I need now to manufacture all my new things. I got a whole bunch of S3 Picos coming from Espressive. I bought some yesterday. It was a 12-week wait, and it was a minimum of 2,000 pieces, which is typical if I'm buying directly from them. And I didn't want to buy 2,000 pieces because they're expensive chips, and I don't have the funds to buy 2,000 of them, especially when it might take me 2 years to go through 2,000 of them. And so I asked them for 1,000, and they, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. They said no. whatever else, back and forwards. I've been buying off DigiKey at a really inflated price, not DigiKey, Mauser. And anyway, she got back to me, my account manager got back to me and basically said, hey, look, we've found, they call them bulk, whatever, we found 1,666 in bulk. Do you want those? If we can do the same price as the 2,000, do you want those? And I said, well, ideally, I don't want more than 1,000. I'd love the 666 only if you could do that. Like, I didn't think I'd get 1,000. There's no way I thought I'd get less than 1,000, right? Anyway, she got back to me and she said, yeah, we'll do the 666 at the 2,000 piece price. So I paid for them straight away, and I've got a bunch of tips coming. Even though I just got a delivery from Mauser at double the price, it gives me an extra couple of dollars a buffer, which is good. I've been getting a lot of flack from people, whatever, about the RGB Touch design and the lack of expandability, and even the fact that I can't put a bigger battery in, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And it's been really, a little bit on Discord, a little bit direct. There was people commenting about it on the chat, whatever. I came up with a way that I can do a big battery add-on. Not the way I want to do it if I do a revision change. If I do a revision change, it'll be a plug-in, pull out without having to do anything else. But for the moment, I've added a notch on the bottom of this case that you can get oh my god, where do I have it? So with a battery, you can either, you can get this wire or with an extension wire to plug it into the top of the inside, and the wires can come through there. And I've designed I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this. I'll see if I can show it. Oh, I can. I've designed this, which is currently printing, my first revision, and it's like an expansion that fits on the bottom. So if I make this just a different color, makes it easier to see. Green, yum. And then I turn on the actual case. What it does is it plugs into the bottom, sits underneath, it makes the whole thing 18 millimeters tall, so it's quite tall. But what it does is it gives you a cavity on the bottom, an 8 millimeter high cavity by like 90 by 90 millimeters, like massive, right? So you can stick a pretty big battery inside there, and the cavity at the back slides through here, so the cable just comes through there. So what you do is you undo, let me just go back to here, you undo these 4 screws, which are 5 millimeter length screws. You take them out, you leave the back in, then you would take the back out, plug your battery in, put it back in so it runs through the channel, and then you put the battery thing on with the battery in there, and then you use 10 millimeter screws to fix it, and then the whole thing is fixed together. And so you've got a chonky version that has whatever size battery. So as an example, this battery here, that's only 6 millimeters thick. Unfortunately broken. 6 millimeters thick. Which is nice and thin. It is 53 wide and 71 long, so way smaller than that cavity, and that's a 2,000 milliamp hour battery. And I'm pretty sure you can get these that are like 1 millimeter thicker or 2 thicker, so 8 millimeters, and a bit bigger. You can get like 2,800 milliamp or 3,200 milliamp hour batteries. So that's, considerably bigger than the 400 milliamp that I'm using right now. If that's not enough for people, I don't know what to tell you. They're going to take forever to charge, because obviously my charge rate is 350 milliamp. That's a long time to charge those. But anyway, looks like I've solved that. But as I said, it's printing right now. It's got about 45 minutes to go. Hopefully it'll just fit together, screws together. The screws are inset at the bottom, so they're not going to stick out. They're fit inside the cavity here. So it's just all flat and smooth on the bottom. And yeah, and people can also maybe hide things in there if they want to. know, whatever. Okay, that's it. Thanks. That was my quick update that went for longer. I'm going to get back and do the bottom of this panel so I can try it. And I'll let you all know on Discord how it all went. Have a great weekend, everyone. And thanks for being a supporter. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you all next week. Bye.